and I am a lock opportunist. An opportunist, lock. I'm equal to all types of locks. What is up, Flockers? That is my fellow lockers and aspiring lockers. In today's video, let's go ahead and talk about the reasons why Braidlocs may not be for you. If you've watched my previous videos, then you know that right now I have Braidlocs in my hair. So you might be thinking, why are you doing a video on why Braidlocs may not be for someone? But honestly, I have had almost every different starter method under the sky, and I am a lock opportunist. An opportunist, lock. I'm equal to all types of locks. So there we go. So I'm gonna give you the good along with the bad of any type of lock starter method or locks in general. The first reason on my list for why Braidlocs may not be the proper starter method for you is because if you have super long hair. What do you mean by if you have super long hair? All right, so this one kind of applies to pretty much any starter method of locks, but the longer your hair is, the longer it's going to take for it to lock and mature. For the most part, somebody who's starting with hair that only comes to their chin is typically going to lock and look mature quicker than someone who has hair that is down to their shoulders, or hair that is to bra strap length, or hair that is longer. So for those individuals that have super duper long hair, and I'll talk about it more in point 2 that'll make it kind of tie in and make it make a little bit more sense, but the longer your hair is, the longer it is going to take for your hair to lock and to actually look like locks and mature locks. The second reason why Braidlocs may not be the perfect starter method for you is if you or whoever the person that's going to be installing your locks for you is a tight braider. Now what I mean by this is, just like I was talking about in the first point in terms of it taking a long time for your locks to mature when you have braids. When you have braids, the locks take longer to mature than other starter methods. The tighter you braid your hair, the longer it's going to take for your hair to be able to loosen up and allow it to bud, to swell, and to do the things that your locks need to do in order to mature. If you're someone who wants your locks to look like locks quicker and you have that super meticulous, want it to be all all sucked up in that braid look and have it super tight and super pretty so that when you leave the salon, it's looking snatched and all that. You may like it on day 1 that it's looking all snatched, but when you're 6 months down the road and you see no maturity in your braid pattern at all, that might be an issue for you. So again, if you're not a heavy-handed, if you're not an extremely tight braider, or the person who is starting and establishing your locks for you is not an extremely tight braider, then it might not be an issue. But if you like that super snatched up look, or your loctician does, then that could cause an issue in the sense that your braid pattern is going to stay for a long time. The third reason on my list for why Braidlocs may not be the proper starter method for you is that if you are the type of person that wants your lock to be uniform from the root to the tip. Now what do I mean? I am excluding the exception of the budding process, because obviously your locks are going to bud in different areas and you may have that pregnant look, and in some of your locks throughout the lock, in the middle of the lock, at the end of the lock, whatever. I'm not speaking about that. I'm speaking specifically about the fact that until the braid pattern starts to disappear and mature, you are going to have a variation or a line of demarcation in your locks. So as your hair is growing out, the braid portion, again, if you did it super tight, may be a lot skinnier than the portion of your locks that are being interlocked. And depending on which interlocking method you choose, whether you choose the 2-point rotation, 3-point rotation, or 4-point rotation, that can also change the size and the appearance, I guess, or the obviousness of that line of demarcation. All right, and the fourth reason on my list of why Braidlocs may not be the move for you in starting your lock journey is if you are the type of person that does not find the look of braids appealing. Now you may be thinking, well, why would I start my locks with braids if I didn't find the look of braids appealing? So like I've said in previous ones on this list, your braids may take a long time for that braid pattern to disappear. So maybe you're cool with the braid look on day one, but if you're not cool with looking at your hair and seeing braid pattern 3, 4, 6 months down the road, a year down the road, a year and a half down the road, then it might not be the starter method for you, because there's no predicting how long it's going to take for your braid pattern to disappear. There are so many factors that play a part into that, between your curl pattern, the density of your hair, again, the tightness and how the braids were started, your climate and weather conditions in the area that you live, which products you're using in your hair, if you're using conditioner, how often you're washing your hair. So there are so many factors that can factor into how quickly or how slowly your locks mature, some that are in your control and others that are not in your control. So if you're not a fan of the braid pattern and that bothers you seeing that braid pattern, then it might not be the move for you. The fifth reason on my list of why Braidlocs may not be the perfect starter method for you is if you are the type of person that wants to have soft and fluffy, pillowy locks. Now, some people don't care about the feel of their lock, but some people I know are very adamant about wanting their locks to be soft. And I'm not talking about just use conditioner soft, but the braid pattern, again, along with interlocking, is going to cause your locks to have a certain feel to them, and for them to be not as soft as, let's say, a 2-strand twist lock or a comb coil lock. So if you're interlocking or you have braids in your hair, your lock is just not going to be as soft, regardless of whether you have Microlocs or you have traditional locks or you have bigger, thicker locks. Your locks just aren't going to be as soft because of the way and the method that you use to start your locks, as well as your maintenance method. So if you've stuck around until this point, make sure to drop down in the comment section below and let me know if there are any other things that you can think of reasons as to why Braidlocs may not be the perfect starter method for you. And also, if you have locks, go ahead and drop in the comment section below and let me know how you have chosen to start your locks. Do you have Braidlocs as your starter method? Do you have 2-strand twist? Do you have comb coils? Did you interlock? What was your starter method? I'd be interested to hear about that. If you found this video helpful at all, make sure to hit that like button, because it helps me and it helps push my videos out to more people with the algorithm. And also hit that subscribe button so that you can join the flock. And while you're here, be sure to check out some of the other videos that have popped up on the screen. I'll see you there.